And now for our feature presentation.
The Puss in Boots films keep hitting milestones with me. The original was the first time I ever got to see a movie in IMAX 3D. It was truly an unforgettable experience. And now this sequel is the first time I ever got to see a new movie 1 month before its worldwide release date. In terms of sequels, we all know that Shrek 2 was one of the best of all time. And what came after wasn't nowhere as good as the first two films in the series. The curse has finally been lifted. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is the second best sequel in the Shrek franchise. Like, holy shit. Like, I'm freaking out. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was actually really good. In this movie, Puss in Boots goes into retirement after using 8 lives, which means he's on his,
4? That makes 8, Puss. What do you wish to do with your last life?
When you only have one life, that's what makes it special.
He reunites with Kitty Sawpaws and a therapy dog sidekick in order to find the wishing star that will grant him his lives back. The original film came out 11 years ago, and I honestly thought DreamWorks would have forgotten about the first spin-off. But no, they actually build upon the first movie. For instance, we see what Kitty and Puss's relationship is like now after the events of the first film. It's not even progressed in a cheesy way, and it's really intriguing how this film finds a way to tie into their relationship, Puss's character arc in the previous and current film. Counting the mainline Shrek movies, this is the darkest film in the entire franchise, and might just be one of DreamWorks' darkest in the overall catalog. Since Puss is on his last life, it gives time to see how even though he's a badass, he spent all of his lives being a selfish legend. He gets the girls, gets the leche, and is in love with himself. It honestly brings a new perspective for when you watch the first spin-off and the other Shrek films on how he is full of himself. Puss in Boots doesn't fear death, but this is totally flipped on its head when the villains come into play. The movie has a little bit of a Spider-Man 3 problem where there are a lot of bad guys. 2 out of 3 of them are really great. The wolf's character in the trailer isn't just some bounty hunter. He's an entity that feeds on the death of people. I mean, literally, he can make fear turn into blood in this movie. He pops up throughout the movie and gives us a more fragile side to our main character, something that we've never gotten to see before. The vocal performance by Antonio Banderas is the best it's ever been, especially when he's fearful. Puss's arc in this movie is up there with Shrek's character arc in Shrek 2, with how well executed it is. The wolf villain isn't there to keep the plot going. His presence is a lot deeper and darker than I expected, and he perfectly blends in with a provoking character arc for our main feline. It's not every day that you see a kids animated film talk about death and the importance of life. The last time that happened was Soul. Then you have Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. You see everyone is out for the wishing star to have their own wish. I won't spoil the other characters' goals and what they want to wish on, but Goldilocks is a sympathetic villain throughout. Then we have the villain that had funny pieces of dialogue, but his goals and ambitions are extremely cliche and drag down the movie in its pacing whenever the goose chase focused on him. The person I'm talking about is Jack Horner. Yeah, you probably don't even know who that is, to be honest. Look it up, you might know. Now it's time to talk about the biggest elephant in the room, the animation. The Shrek series and even the first Puss in Boots always went for realistic animation. DreamWorks lately has been experimenting with the visuals in their movies, and I was scared to see how this film's departure from the original animation would have turned out. They have taken a lot more into the Spider-Verse animation approach, and honestly, it feels like they borrowed it here, but also it works really well. It takes some time to get used to though. The movie has so many beautiful, vibrant colors. It looks constantly extravagant. The fur and hair on the characters still have that Shrek realism, but the action is where the movie truly turns into the Spider-Verse factor, and it looks cool and slick. It's a visual treat, and it might be the most gorgeous animated movie of the year. Even more beautiful than Strange World, the one movie you forgot existed until I just said that. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was a movie I came in with no expectations. I didn't think it was going to be good, bad, or in the middle. I just watched it and see how it turned out, and I am happy to say DreamWorks killed it this year. Puss in Boots gives us thought-provoking character development to one of Shrek's greatest allies and a darker, visually pleasant adventure that improves on the original.